Hi y'all, my name is JaclynLizzi. I do song translations here on YouTube and I'm here to answer your questions. This is going to be a mix of questions from a post I made, from a video I made, and then also just questions that people have asked me in my videos. I unfortunately do not have the time to subtitle this into Spanish and French as well, but I will speak as clearly as I can for all of the intermediate English speakers, and I will make sure that the English subtitles for this video are accurate. So I'm gonna find where I put the dang questions and then we can go from there. Okay, number one, Alexandra Shvidun asks, what is your background with French? I started learning French in high school. I only technically took it for 2 years. I skipped French 2, so I went up to French 3. I just liked languages and linguistics in general at that point. I already spoke Spanish and English, so I wanted to learn another language, and that was the only other language offered. Mine is Latin, but I'm not Catholic, and for me, the whole fun of languages is being able to talk to people. So Rock Guitar 2012 says, are you planning to do any 1789 Les Amants de la Bastille covers or Robin des Bois? I'm considering doing Les Amants de la Bastille, at least 1 or 2 of the songs, but if I'm completely honest, it's one of my least favorite of the musicals that Davatia has been involved with. I do like Je mise tout, and I do like Je vous rends mon âme, but I've already done that in English a while back. And then I also like da 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 souffre sa volonté. Nous ne sommes. But I am actually talking with someone about doing a Nous ne sommes collaboration, maybe. Oh, also, what's that other song? There's one other song that I really like from it that the sister sings. Something La Nuit. That one's good too. But yeah, as overall, I'm not a fan of Les Amants de la Bastille relative to other French musicals. I don't know any songs from Robin des Bois, so that could be fun to look into. Amado Hernández dice, ¿hablas español? Y yo gastando mi inglés. Sí, Amado habla español desde hace muchísimos años. Pero yo diría, con las canciones y las atracciones y todo lo que hago con el inglés, español, francés y todo, lo hago porque me encanta y es una gran pasión mía. Así que para mí, si no lo hiciera, aunque tenga ese amor y ese talento, sería una gran vergüenza. Pero si estas cosas no te importan a ti, Amado, no estás gastando nada. Todos tenemos que escoger dónde queremos poner nuestros esfuerzos. Okay, Desolate Soul. Beautiful cover, but why is it that every English translation is different? Good question. So the thing with translations, even when you're talking translations of texts and not of songs or poetry, is that there's a lot of different ways to say the same thing. Even if you're just speaking one language, like say, I have to go to the store. I could say, I have to go to the store. I could say, I need something from the store. I could say, I gotta go to the store. I could say, I'm fixing to go to the store. I could say, I'm finna go to the store. And all of those have different, implications of region in the case of fixing to go to the store. But it also has different implications of formality, like who am I talking to? Like I would never say, oh, I have to go to the store, because I don't talk like that. I would say, I gotta go to the store. And that's a really simple sentence. Having to go to the store is a very simple idea to express, and yet there's so many different ways to say that all have different implications. So when you're talking about something more complicated, like a song, which is usually poetic, there's a lot of metaphor a lot of the times, there's a lot of artistic license, it's a little bit more complicated. Hi, babe. I'm doing a Q&A. The lighting's better in here than upstairs. Okay. So yeah, that's why if you have different people, even if you have different translators who translate the same song or the same text, they're all going to be a little bit different. And even more so with poetry and songs, because there's a certain amount of artistic license that you take when you're doing the translation. Rhino1114 says, in which province do you live? I don't live in any province. I'm American, and I live in the great state of Texas. Tu pronunciación del español es prácticamente nativa. ¿Dónde lo aprendiste? Espero con ansias el cover de l'Amérique pleure. So, would you hush? Baby cat, come here. Bubba. Bubba. Eat a butt. There you go. You happy now? Okay. Ugh. The idea of doing a Spanish cover for L'Amérique Pleure has kind of been put on the back burner. I still want to do it at some point, but it's just a long and complicated translation, and the ones into Spanish are harder to do because it's not my native language. God damn it, cat. And then regarding Spanish, bueno, me puse a aprender el español desde bien chiquita. Aquí en Texas y sobre todo en mi ciudad de nacimiento, Houston, la mayoría de la población es latina. Y hay muchísimos hispanohablantes. Así que hasta cuando estaba en la guardería, venía una profesora de español cada semana para enseñarnos unas palabras en español. Y recuerdo que tenía este videojuego de Jumpstart Español. Jumpstart Español. Es como un videojuego educativo para los niños. Me encantaba. Dicho eso, solo iba a tomar los 2 años de español requisitos para graduarme, pero después de esos 2 años me enamoré y quería seguir aprendiendo. Así que es una mezcla de oportunidad, talento y trabajo. Baby cat likes my husband more than me, so when he went into the room, he was just crying at the door. Pathetic. Oh, and the question about L'Amérique Pleure and my Spanish was from Alonso Aike. Call Me Jay says, also just curious, do you happen to be interested in the German musicals? They are also fascinating. I might be. I don't know anything about any German musicals, but if you want to give me a recommendation, as long as it has English subtitles, because I don't speak a lick of German, I would love to watch it. Imran Patel says, what's your all-time favorite Stromae song or album? For song, I'm probably going to have to go with Papa Ute, just because it was the first one I ever heard. This must have been 2017, because I was about to graduate. But I remember there's a public radio station here that does an international hour, and Papa Ute came on, and I was just fascinated. It was unlike anything I'd ever heard before. My French at that time wasn't great. I could understand a tiny bit, but not really. And but I was just fascinated, so I tracked it down. So I'm gonna have to say that Racine Carrée is my favorite album, just because it was my introduction and I adore it. And I also learned a lot of French from it. But I do really like Multitude, which is why I've been adapting so many songs from it. Though it's been this last month has been super busy, so I'm trying to kind of catch back up. Christian Slayer. Oh, Chicken Slayer has 3 questions. So, where did you learn French, and do you know any other languages? I did mention I started learning French in school. I don't want to say talent, but whatever. Talent isn't so much learning languages so much as word retention. Like, I only took those 2 years and like French 2 in the summer in high school, and I didn't really keep studying in college. I didn't do any classes or anything, though there were French musicians that I liked. But I didn't forget what I'd learned either. And that's how I've always been. Like, I have a very good memory for words and grammar. My memory for math and science was less impressive. It wasn't really until I met my friend Anna, who is French, that it really kind of reignited my interest in learning French more. Because, like I said, for me, the fun of it is talking to people, and like I didn't have anyone to talk to in French. So she was a big inspiration. And then it's really when I started doing the Mozart l'Opéra Rock translations that my French has improved substantially since then, in wording and vocabulary and, fluidity. So yeah. And then what's your favorite place that you've traveled to? So I haven't traveled super extensively. I did do a road trip up to Colorado last year with some friends, which was super fun. Like, Colorado's beautiful. I absolutely adore the mountains of the Pacific Northwest. So Washington and Oregon is absolutely gorgeous. Like, me and my aunt and uncle used to go camping in Oregon, and there was these fat little ground squirrels that looked like chipmunks that we would name all the ones in our campsite and everything. I remember Fluffy Butt with fondness. I drove a production van from Conroe, Texas to Poughkeepsie, New York a couple months ago, and that was really cool because I'd never really seen the Eastern Seaboard, but the Black Hills are gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. And I love the little like townhouses in Massachusetts that look like Victorian houses but just like squished together. Those are cool. Outside of the US, I loved Lyon. France. So I actually went in January to see Anna and a couple other friends and had an absolute blast, which the city was really interesting and really cool. But it was also like, you know, staying with a good friend that I hadn't seen in a long time that really made the experience. I've went to Spain in high school, and I really loved all the Gaudí stuff in Barcelona. And I remember really loving Madrid, but that was also 11 years ago, so I don't really know how I would like it today. It's just been a long time, but I am a big museum person, so going to the Prado and everything was like amazing. I guess I didn't really answer the question. I don't know that I have a favorite place. I tend to like places based on the people I know there and kind of the memories associated with them more than the places themselves, but maybe I just haven't been to that many really cool places. And then last one from Chicken Slayer is, what's your favorite food? I have several. No, I'm not someone who skips meals. I love gumbo and crawfish boil season. Pancakes. I like breakfast food in general. I love pancakes. I love omelets. I'm a big like eggs and bacon person. Oatmeal, I love. Last question from Q Caspian. How did you get into doing music on YouTube? I kind of always have. I actually started making YouTube videos when I was a teenager. The first one, I think I was 15. So 11 years ago, and it was a cover with no background, with no backing track at all of If I Die Young by the band Perry. I've always enjoyed singing, but I was never in choir. I never did voice lessons or anything, but I played classical clarinet for 8 years. So most of my knowledge of music and music theory and all that, it comes from the clarinet. But I am really excited to start doing voice lessons later this year because I've never had the chance to, and I think it'll be really fun to actually learn some of the, you know, the words behind it, the vocabulary for what I'm doing. Like, it's really hard to communicate what I want to feel or express, or whether I'm doing something right or wrong, because I don't have the vocabulary for it. And for me, especially, vocabulary is very important. Let me know what you think, I guess, but I think it would be fun to do videos like this between the song translations, just so, I don't know, I can like touch base, I can answer any questions you have. It's also just a nice kind of change of pace. Sometimes I take suggestions for what songs to do next, but I'm on a little bit of a backlog just because this past month has been so busy. Answer any questions. I don't know if you want to chat, I guess. I'm kind of new to the whole, I'm not new to making videos, but I'm new to people actually watching them. So that's all for today. I hope you'll have a lovely morning, evening, afternoon, or night, and I will see you on the next one.